Lone Star Community Radio.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and we've had just a little bit of a rough start here. But I always tell people we come on at 2-ish to 3. 3 exactly. But anyway, we're on now, and we have a great guest today. So great. He's the author of a new book called Culture Jock, and we're going to be talking to him in just a minute. But first of all, I got to tell you, HEB is opening right across the street from Kroger. Kroger is going crazy right now. If you want to get good deals, if you want to have everything you've ever wanted on the shelves, go to Kroger right now across from HEB because they are getting ready to be real competitive. And, you know, I love Kroger. They know me so well. I know where everything is. But HEB is opening. And so I saw them, and they're all talking. The managers are all talking and all that stuff. And I went to them and said, I told them, don't worry. I'm not leaving you. I'll be here. And they went like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much for saying that. But it's not true. I can't wait to get over to HEB because they got stuff that Kroger doesn't have. Do you shop? Where do you shop?
Are you talking to me?
Where?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking. Is there anybody else here?
Can you hear? I want to make sure you can hear the headphones though, because we always have issues with that. Can you hear?
Okay.
Can you hear through the headphones?
No, I cannot.
Okay.
And I don't see a red light.
All right, yeah, I'll fix it. That's why I wanted to
Okay.
make sure.
Okay, so we're gonna have to go to a break.
No, you don't.
Oh, we don't. He's gonna stand up and come over here and fix it. Okay, so all of you watching on YouTube, this is great. La li da do do do. It's gonna be great. Oh boy, did I hear me now? Yes, I had that thing turned all the way up. Okay, I'm on now, but that wasn't my fault, right?
No.
That's yours. Okay, good.
I wanted to make sure.
Okay, I wanted to make sure we keep count. Okay.
But no, we shop at HEB primarily because it's on the
You
way.
do?
It's just on the way home, so it's out of convenience,
Not because you love it so much. Okay, but a lot of people love HEB, and we've been waiting for this. And they kept saying it was going to be open in November, and usually they say that, and it's going, that's not going to ever happen. But it's going to be open November the 2nd. I got it from somebody that knows, and I'm so excited about that. So everybody in Willis will have something to do on November 2nd, and because going to the store is the big deal there. When that signature Kroger opened, I was there. Everybody was there, and it was amazing. So it's like party time at HEB. I have such a dull life, except when I come here. It's really exciting. And today will be really exciting because we're going to be talking to Kenny Noble Cortez.
You were telling me that you dated him?
Yeah.
While you were married?
No. This is like when I was
during your LA days?
16, 17. No, he. Okay, Richard.
I feel like that's a California thing to do.
No. We dated. We were young. It was just a young thing. And
when you say young, was he like a producer and you were like 12?
Shut up. No, he was like 17. I think we were 16, 17. I think he's a year older than I was. And I
went to school together then.
No, we didn't go to school together. He was Catholic. He went to
hung out at the Kroger. I met at Kroger.
We didn't meet at Kroger. I meet a lot of people at Kroger, but I haven't met anybody like that at Kroger. Anyway, so Kenny and I met because of this guy named David Eckenrode. David Eckenrode is listening right now, and he thought he was going to get to see Kenny, but our Zoom thing didn't work out, so we'll work on the Zoom thing next time. Anyway, so David was the one who introduced me to Kenny because he was dating my next door neighbor, and Kenny kept coming with them, and they were just all, like three of them doing stuff all the time all together, and he wanted to get rid of Kenny for a while so he could have time with his girlfriend. And Kenny didn't know that. I was talking to him one day, it wasn't long ago, and he never knew that. He never knew that David was just trying to get rid of him so he could be alone with his girlfriend. And so I was his distraction, and apparently it worked because Kenny was just madly in love with me. That's what David said. David said, "Oh, but he was so madly in love with you. I think it was fine." But he had a crush on Mary.
At 17.
At 17, no.
Now, was this during like the flower age?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So y'all were doing drugs and everything?
No. We just everybody liked the Beatles, and it was just that kind of innocence. It was just so much innocence during that time.
What was the thing to do at 17? Like
make out in the cars.
Just is there really a make-out point?
Yeah, just, because I couldn't dance. So I went to Church of Christ, so I couldn't dance. So you had parties, and everybody was dancing. I wouldn't dance, but I was sitting on the couch making out with guys. And, you wondered.
Plural guys? I see what, so you were the couch girl?
No,
okay.
No, it wasn't. It was just kissing. But in church, they should have told you why you weren't supposed to dance. And that would have been a lot. They need to be a little more specific. But anyway, we're going to be right back. We're going to be right back with Kenny, and he'll get to say his side of the story. Nobody tell him what I just said. I don't think he heard us. But anyway, we'll be right back with Kenny Cortez, Noble Cortez. Anyway, don't go away. You're listening to Cindy Cochran Show.
Hey, tune in to the Bridge Podcast TX Tuesdays at 11 a.m., where we are connecting commerce with community, interviewing business owners and leaders in the community, allowing the audience to peek behind the curtain of what inspires, motivates, drives these individuals to have meaningful, positive impact in this community. For more information about the show, log into irlonestar.com/TBPTX.
Path to the Plate is a research-based education program that helps consumers understand how their food choices impact their health by making the connection to agriculture, learning about how food is grown and produced, and how consumers can make better food choices for themselves and their families. Path to the Plate is all about dispelling myths and misconceptions. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
And you're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Had a little rough start, yeah, but it's going to be okay. We're going to even try to Zoom again because I haven't seen Kenny in years and years and years, and I'd like to see his face while I'm talking to him. So we're going to do that real quickly. And David Eckenrode you didn't send me any of the embarrassing stories you were going to send me. I thought you were going to let me know what I could embarrass Kenny with. I mean, I really, actually, I have a lot. And you said, I don't know how this guy can be any more embarrassed because his book that he just wrote, Culture Shock, has his life so laid out, so honestly, so raw, that he said, I don't think anything can embarrass this guy anymore. I think he's said it all. And so I've been looking for those, salacious pieces in there so that, I would know what he was talking about, because I can't believe anything like that, that Kenny could do anything that would be bad. And, but the thing about it is that he told me that you'll see there's a transformation that happens in this book. And the thing that has happened to Kenny and what's gone on in his life has been, you probably couldn't handle it. Most people couldn't handle it. This guy has really got character to be able to do what's happened to him, be able to come back from things that have happened to him. And what he's going through right now is just mind-boggling. So I can't wait to get to talk to him. Has he gotten the... We're waiting now to see if Kenny's going to be able to come on or not. But how about them Astros? That's what... I don't know nothing about what the Astros are doing now. I think they're still winning, but I'm not going to be judged by that. I just hope they're still winning, because we've got to have some team in this area that we can brag on. And see, we beat the Rangers. I think we beat them soundly. And I'm sure I'll get a text from Jimmy the C, and he'll tell me, like, Cindy, shut up. Don't talk sports unless I'm there. Okay, that's fine. But I'm just waiting on, I think we have him, but he's sideways. We have you, Kitty, but we've got you where you have to look like this to see you. How do we turn him around? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, there he goes. There he goes. Okay. Your right side. We got you. Can you hear me? No, he was right. Tell him.
Yeah, it says his audio is connecting.
Huh?
It says his audio is connecting, so he probably can't hear you.
Oh, okay. The shot of him is sideways, so I'd have to do the interview like this. But he turned it around and it was right. There he goes. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good.
Yeah, something's going on with your audio, Kenny. It says you didn't connect it.
You can't hear anything. Okay, I'll sign everything that I need to say. No, you don't understand me?
Yeah, I think his microphone isn't activated for Zoom.
Oh.
So we'll try to. We're gonna call you, Kenny. We're gonna call you.
Oh. Okay. Can we just keep him on the screen?
Let's try.
Okay.
Let's see if he picks up.
I hear him. Can you hear him? I heard him. I heard him talking. Can he talk? Yeah, I hear him. Can you turn him up, or is he up? Is he up? Oh, can't do it. Oh, rats. Okay, well, you can read your lips. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll try, Kenny. We're gonna disconnect from the Zoom call and see if your phone will transfer over to the actual telephone.
Do you think he heard you say that? Oh, man. Okay. So anyway, if anything was happening to me on the way to I didn't have anything like really and truly. Let's see. I need to talk about. Oh, I know what. This is so funny. In California, only in California, the governor said that by 2035, 35, there would be no gas cars in California, and it's only electric cars. So, but after that, about the next day, they put out this announcement saying that everybody that lives in California has got to stop using their air conditioning from 4 to 9 and unplug
We have that
their
here.
cars. Well, no, they said unplug the cars because the grid can't handle it. Now, there's only about 1 million cars in California that are electric. Now, they're,
Hi, this is Kenny.
it's Kenny. Can you hear me?
Hello, this is Kenny.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Kenny?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? He's in my headset.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Kenny? Oh, Kenny. Well, he's really a person, and he's really there.
1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. Hello, this is Kenny.
I don't know why he can't hear us.
Why can't you hear us?
Kenny.
Hello, this is Kenny.
Kenny, we can hear you. 1, 2, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, mic check. You can't hear us, though. We can't hear you. Are you? Oh, I wish he was watching on YouTube so we could say, can't hear you. So, can you call him back? You did call him. Oh, okay. All right. So, Kenny, should we try another phone? No. Okay. Oh, Kenny. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna finish this story if it kills me because this is so stupid. California is saying now they have like 1 million cars like right now, and they're already saying that the grid can't handle everybody being plugged in from 4 to 9. Well, in between 4 and 9 is when they have to go home. It's the highest traffic time, and if people can't charge up to go home, they don't know what they're going to do. So they're starting to see where maybe this isn't such a great idea because it's going to take a lot longer to be more evolved into being able to have, the grid not be so pressured by all this electricity that's going on. And it's like the electricity is what you're having to plug into, and the electricity is fueled by fossil fuels. But you want to do away with all those. So I don't know what you guys are thinking. And so it doesn't make sense to me, and I'm like nobody. I don't know from all that stuff. But I do know that if you want to start having blackouts and brownouts and all that stuff, then you better say, let's just forget about forcing people to buy the $66,000 cars and have all electric when we can't even handle 1 million. And how many millions of people live in California? Way too many. And so that's going to be just a drain on the whole process. So it's just like stupid for what they think they're doing.
It's nuts though, Cindy. Is Holly and I have been watching a show on Hulu, and in between the show, they have advertising, and one of the advertising is basically talking about the grid for Texas.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a weird ad. It's not really saying anything. It's just like, we had problems. We need to fix the grid. And so I looked it up. It was Bill Gates' company.
It's Bill Gates'
It's Bill
company?
Gates' company, and it's about climate change. And it's talking about how they want to basically nationalize the grid.
Oh, shoot. That's a new number. That's a new phone number to call. So, see, it doesn't make sense because when you say that fossil fuels, you're doing away with all that. You cannot use that, and you'll be in trouble, and you're going to be thrown in jail if you're using fossil fuels. What do they do when they understand that that's what fuels the electricity in the grid? Oh, that's not it? Okay. So that's what is making me, like crazy when I have to listen to them, because they are, I don't know, it's just like common sense is the thing. And then what do you do, like these batteries that they talk about? Well, how does that work with the trucks, with the trains, with everything else that uses coal or anything like that? Is that going to be able to work, or what do they do with the trucks that have? How long will it take to have a truck be plug in, and look how big the plug must be to plug in and energize that truck to be able to go 300 miles or whatever they're going to do. That's what they haven't answered yet. And when you ask them the questions that they just talk about, well, we're talking about 2035 and it'll all be done by then. We'll have the infrastructure, we'll have all that. But you know what? The poor people, I can't afford the cars unless those cars are going to promise to come down to, to what we could buy now. That's just stupid. Nobody's going to do that. And I just don't get them. And I think that they got a lot of explaining to do, and that I'm hearing a ring. This may be it.
Hi, this is Kenny.
Kenny, can you hear me?
I hear you, yeah.
Oh, yay! Oh, my goodness. I just finished trashing California, so I'm so glad you heard me. Yes, okay. How are you doing?
I've got you on speakerphone. I couldn't get you through. I mean, I checked my headphones and my buds were fine.
Yeah.
I was able to listen to music through them without any problem. So audio was coming through just fine. In any case, here we are. So
yes, I can hear you. I'm so excited. So did you hear any of the stuff I was talking about before? No.
No, I could not hear anything.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Good. Then I don't have to apologize for anything. Okay. So this is Kenny Noble, everybody. Kenny Noble Cortez. And the Cortez came from your father's
from mom.
From your mom's
mom's
name.
side. Mom is from Bogota, Colombia, and Dad was from Portland, Oregon. And you've seen me, you know what I look like. I kind of took after my dad.
You look like a Sven, is what your name should be. You had so blonde hair.
The Cortez came about when I went to Miami from Seattle, which is a long drive, by the way. And my program director suggested I might want to use Kenny Cortez in Miami, and I said, yeah, that sounds great, and that gives Mom a chance. I went with Kenny Noble for so many years,
right?
And I never hit #1 status with Dad's last name, so I thought I'd give Mom a shot, and it worked pretty well.
See, that's awesome, because I knew there was a family reason why you went to that name, and I thought, how do we look up somebody that you've known for years and they've changed their last name? But I was so glad that you came on the show. That was like, what is it, 7 years ago or 8 years ago that you were on the show, and we were talking about your.
I don't know.
It was so long.
Time goes by so quickly nowadays. It's just amazing how quickly time goes by. By the way, time flies like an arrow and fruit flies like a banana.
Yes. What's funny is your little
That's the
kid.
Radio in me coming out, right?
Yes.
Kenny Cortez, Osexordinus.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I really do like that name. But, like when you're a little kid, time goes by like forever. Like Mom's never coming home, or you're never going to get to do something, or it's got so long before Christmas and all. And then if somebody just told us, wait till you get to be in your 70s, and then watch how fast time goes by. But so anyway, all right, we digress.
Thankfully, we have a long way to go before we're in our 70s, right?
Yeah. I don't know why I made that. Well, see, your book is so transparent that now it's got me telling my age, and I'll be doing my weight next. No, that will never happen. But anyway, no, I've got your book here, and The Culture Jock. Did you come up with that name?
I'm sorry. Would you say that again?
Did you come up with the name Culture Jock?
Yeah, it's a name. I've had the title for probably a couple of decades, and I was just waiting for the book to fill in. And
That's great.
and when I wrote it, it poured out of me. I wrote the book in less than 3 months, so it just really poured out of me.
Well, okay, I've got to tell you that I had a long discussion with David Eckenrode last night, and I wanted him to see if he had any embarrassing stories he could tell me that I could say to you. But I want to tell you, he just raved about your book. He said, that book is so good. And he said, a friend of mine read it and told me that it was great. He said, that I can't believe that guy just laid it all out there. I mean, he said all that was going on with him and what was wrong. And I mean, I would never do that. I could never do that. So they were all...
Well, speaking of embarrassing stories, I left out one really embarrassing story that involved David. Should I share it? Should I share it now?
Oh, please do. Please do, because he never sent me anything. So go ahead.
This was something you will probably remember, but this goes back when David had his 1959 Chevy Impala convertible. Remember that car? And David and I were driving around, and we decided to go visit your good friend Mary.
Yes.
And David was bragging about how the engine was a 427.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yes.
No, wait a minute. 409. 409.
I was thinking it was 309, but it's
named
409.
after the song. And so
right.
he was telling us that what a great, and it sounded that way too. The car was and it had a bad sound to it. And so we drove over to Mary's house, and I think you came out, and John Kalo, I guess the late John Kalo, came out of the house and said, "So I've heard a lot about this 409. Open the hood." And so I remember I said, "Yeah, David, come on, open the hood. Show him your 409." And so David says, "Sure." So he opened up the hood, and John looks at it, and he stares at it for a second. He goes, "That's not a 409. He says, it was either like a 283 or a 327 or something like that, but it was not a 409.
That's
and so we looked at David like, "David, explain." And so he just kind of slumped his face and, "Oh, well." And
that was a good imitation. That was a good imitation of David. But I remember during that time, I was trying to find out what the different numbers meant for the engines and to be able to say that to guys, because guys just love to hear about it. If you knew anything about cars, they wanted to talk about cars. That's all they talked about and bragged about and stuff. And so I remember that's what I remember is how like he kept talking about this was 309 and not a 309, a 409. And
409.
Yeah.
Because of the Beach Boys song.
The song, yeah.
Giddy up,
409,
giddy up,
yes.
409, giddy up, 409,
I think
409.
But I never knew what the giddy up was. I thought he named the horse that or what.
Measured in cubic centimeters.
See, that was it. And I really got bored with that really quick because it was too complicated to even talk about. So now imagine opening up the hood. Now it's all computerized, and so I don't think boys have that same, they're not excited about the engine size or anything like that anymore because it's all computerized. And now they want to go all electric. So I don't know. That's what I was talking about before you came on. I was talking about how stupid California was in this. They're doing away with all of the fossil fuels and stuff like that. And they don't want to have gas guzzling cars on the road by 2035. And so they were talking about, and then the next day they come out and say, okay, everybody from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., you can't use your air conditioner and nobody can't be charging cars because it's too much on the grid. And so imagine if they can't handle what it's going to be like in 2035.
It will end up using 4 times the amount of electricity.
That's right.
Charge the car, and so they haven't got a plan yet. So, well, they've got 12 years to work on it, isn't it? Take place in 2035, I think.
Yeah, so imagine how much those cars are going to cost by then. It says they cost $66,000 now.
Grand.
Yeah,
An easy $100,000. Of course, you could pay $100,000 for an electric car now. Get a nice Tesla.
yeah.
I'd like that.
I love that. But that's not talking about your book. I want to talk about your book. And so these guys were bragging on how much they loved your book. And I don't think David compliments a lot. I mean, he never seemed to be the type of person that would compliment a lot. So when he said his book is great, he said I love it. Now, this is the way I read a book. I know you can't see this, but I'm showing everybody what it's earmarked for. Like, I started that page, and then I go to I go about 3 or 4 pages over, and I read the back of the book, and then I look through all the pictures, and I am terrible about the way I read a book. And then after Dave was talking about, you wouldn't believe what all he said about himself. I mean, he told everything. And I went, he told everything? You didn't talk about when we were dating, did you? I didn't find my name. I didn't find my name anywhere. Okay. Anywhere in there. But I was telling them about how David used me to distract you from Mary, because you actually had a crush on Mary that you told me about, and you said, please don't tell anybody. So I haven't told anybody. And that you'd had a crush on her. And so, but until you met me, and then that was all over, because then you fell in love with me.
Yes, of course, that's true. You keep telling yourself that over and over again. I had a crush on Mary, but I was 12 years old at the time.
Oh, okay.
Real crush, my real crush, if you want to know the truth, just between you and me and the fence post here,
yes,
it was Sister Mary Peter. Oh my gosh, that nun she couldn't hide her very youthful figure at all, and under that Dominican habit, all I could see was her face and her hand. That's all I could see, but it was enough, because when she would float by my desk,
yes,
I'm telling you, just like the waves in the ocean, and it would pop my little 12-year-old heart to pieces.
Well, see, everybody's tried to tell, back then when, to see a woman's ankle was like a big deal. It was very sensational. And so the more you cover up, the more the guy has to use his imagination, and usually their imagination is so much better than what's really there.
Oh yes, much better.
So that's funny, because the nuns, especially if they had a really pretty face, and it's just, their facial features were so amazing.
Well, yeah, there was Sister Mary Peter, who was the youngest, I think, or certainly one of the youngest. She had to be in her 20s. But the girls were all about Father Franklin, and I'm sure you heard about Father Franklin from Mary.
Yes,
he was a young Paul McCartney-ish kind of priest.
Yikes!
And the girls were crazy about him.
Well, and imagine, being in a Catholic school, and the strength because Sam, my husband, went to Catholic school. He said that was the best learning, and how many times he got whacked across the hands because, anytime you did anything wrong, the nuns were, that's how they punished you. And so he said it was great, though, because you really had boundaries and you knew what was what, and they really taught you well. So he had, he praised being in his Catholic school, but then he went to Spring Branch, and I was like, uh-oh. And I felt the same way. I went to a Christian school, and when I went from Christian school to junior high at Deedy, oh my word, I felt like I'd gone to hell. Like, these people all are bad, and they talk bad and everything. The teachers even say bad words, and it was just like your introduction to the real world.
Well, there's no denying that the education was pretty good at Catholic schools, and I think it was because, like you referred to it just then, of getting knuckles wrapped, was the discipline. The discipline was pretty amazing, and I tell a story in my book about the time when I brought my brand new shiny red Boy Scout knife to. Actually, it was a Swiss Army knife, but it was a combination Swiss Army knife, Boy Scout knife, and I wanted to show it off to everybody. And I brought it to school with me, and I was showing it off to somebody who was sitting in the row next to me. And then all of a sudden, I felt these piercing eyes looking down the row in my direction. So I quickly stuffed the knife between my kneecaps.
Well, that's what I couldn't understand. Did you close it first, or did you just stick it between your knees? How did you do that? Didn't you have it open while you were showing it to your friend?
I just shoved it there between my knees as fast as I could, and the sister, what was her name? Sister Mary Godzilla, I think. She came walking down the aisle slowly but surely, and I knew that this was going to end badly, or could end badly. And she stopped at my desk, and I was folding my hands. I had my hands folded on the desk, and she says, Kenneth. She called me Kenneth. The IRS and Mom called me Kenneth.
Yes.
And occasionally you called me Kenneth.
Yes.
But she goes, Kenneth, are you hiding something? And I opened my hands up and I said, no, sister. And just then my knees came apart and the knife fell on the floor right in front of her feet.
Oh,
and,
man.
She picked up the knife and she twirled it, and she really looked like she was liking it. And for a brief second, I thought maybe things won't go so bad. And then she with her right hand, she put it behind her back, and with her left hand, she pointed at me, and in a voice loud enough for the whole class to hear, she pointed and she almost yelled. She said, "You lied!" And
oh my! That's
life
like
as I knew it was over at that very moment.
Oh, man.
It was a very terrible.
That was worse than the Lord himself calling you a liar. Yes. Well, that's what's so bad.
So Catholic school was crazy. There was another story where our eighth grade quarterback, Ronnie Bickers, I don't know if you remember that name or not, because he was a very famous local quarterback at Queen of Peace, K through 8. K through 8. And he was always heckling Sister Benedict. And she was tired of all of the heckling. And so finally one day she had enough of the heckling, and she grabbed him by the scruff of his neck, seriously grabbed the collars of his shirt and slammed him up against the wall. And he was close to 6 feet. He was a tall guy. And she was a big nun. And she held him against the wall with his feet off the floor, like about 2 inches off the floor, and threatened him within an inch of his life to never heckle her again. The look on his face was, as we say, priceless. It was
great.
Quite the lesson.
That sounds like a movie story.
Yeah.
Of doing something like that and having the nun grab you and to be that violent. But they got away with things that you couldn't do today at all. And I don't know if it has changed in the Catholic schools, or they still rule the roost and and
I don't know, but I know one thing that they did in public school. I went to public school, 10th, 11th, and 12th grades. Mom and Dad couldn't afford the parochial tuition anymore, so I changed over I went to Stephen F. Austin High School in Houston. And I got SWAT there. So I don't know if there was any difference between the public schools and the Catholic schools. But my bottom got good and red with the SWAT.
Well, you're such a bad boy.
They made sure the kids couldn't see it. But what happened was the coach would administer the SWATs, and he would invite you to come out into the hallway with him. And he had his Mickey Mantle autographed SWAT machine ready, and you had to bend over, grab your ankles, and then whap, whap, and he would usually do 3 good swats. And
what had you done?
Huh?
What had you done for him to swat you like that?
If I told you, well, I guess I have to tell you now. But for one thing, I left my watch in the gym bag during PE, and when I went back for it after school, the coach said, "Don't do that again." And I said, "Okay, I won't." And so I did it again the second day. This was like Tuesday. I did it again on Tuesday, and he says, "If you do this again, Ken, Mr. Noble," actually the coach called me Mr. Noble. "If you do that again, Mr. Noble, I'm going to have to give you swats." And so, true to form, I did it again the third day. I just forgot about it. It was a new watch, and I just totally forgot about it. And so, for the offense, the big crime of leaving my watch in the gym bag in PE, I got I got 6 or 9 swats. I can't remember right now, but I didn't forget after that.
Of course not. See, that's why I think the swats are such a great idea. Of course, I never got any swats, but we had a coach that was teaching class. I love when coaches teach classes because they're usually so laid back about anything, and he would take all the boys to the back of the room before class started, and give them each a swat before. I mean, they hadn't done anything. They were just. And that was what he would do to keep kids from being bad. He knew it was all the boys that were bad, and so he just invited them back to the back of the room, and you could hear the swats go from, that was like 10 kids, and it was scary. I mean, it scared me to death. I didn't know what it looked like when you got a swat, but I could hear it, and it was just like, these guys are so mean. Good grief. Christian school, we didn't have. They would paddle you, but you had to go to the principal's office. And
yeah, right. You know what? I only went to the vice principal's office once, and you made a mention I was a bad boy. I wasn't really a bad boy. I was actually a pretty good kid, and I never got into any trouble. But David got me into trouble a couple of times. One time when I was driving, I drove a 1953 Plymouth to school in 1964 and 1965. And we were on the east side of Houston, and I was stopped at a light, and David goes, "Go ahead, run it. Go ahead, run it. And so I floored the accelerator, and there was a cop right behind me. Exactly, right behind me. And he knew it all the time.
Oh, my.
And he was just laughing his rump off, and so the policeman pulled us over and gave me a ticket, and then I never heard the end of that story. But he made up for it in our senior year, in the last class of the day. No, it was in homeroom, and I asked David if I could borrow his car, the '59 Chevy convertible Impala, and it was solid white, and I just wanted to drive it around for a little bit on my own. And like a fool, he said, "Sure, go ahead." And so he gave me the keys, and I just walked out of the school at the end of homeroom, and I drove around town for a while. Then I went home, and I took a nap, and then I went over and got a hamburger somewhere at Princess Drive-In, I think.
Of course.
And then I decided, you know what? It's about 2:00. I better get back to the school. So I drove back to the school and gave David his keys, and then I was told to go report to the vice principal's office, Mr. Catrola. And so I went to the vice principal's office, and he looked at me, and he looked at my record, and then he said, "What did you do?" And I said, "I borrowed David's car. I just wanted to drive it for a little bit. I'm sorry. I won't do that again." And then he said, "Okay, go back to class." And that was it.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't imagine you. I couldn't imagine you having to go to the principal's office for anything. And if the only thing you ever did was leave your watch, and I think that's fine. But David, you have to watch David. I can't imagine. I thought you were going to tell me that you got the car, you ran some lights, got some tickets for him to have as a souvenir. But I'm glad you
No.
didn't do that. But
I saved my own car for that later on in life.
you know, that was Mary. Mary just got her driver's license, and so she said, "Come on, Cindy, I'm going to take you driving." And I went, "Oh, that's great!" I felt so cool. We're in the car, and she's driving, and we come up to a light, and she goes, "Now wait, I forget. Is it red you stop or green you? What is when do you go? Mary, you don't know what." It's red. You got to stop the car, because she couldn't remember what. That was so scary. I thought, okay, I'm not going to ride with you anymore if you don't know when to stop or when to go. But I think that Mary and David, they got married, and it was like, oh my goodness gracious, we have 5 minutes left. I'm so sorry, Kenneth. You got to come back, okay? Will you come back?
Sure. Okay, I'd love to come back, and I'll be able to see you next time, I hope.
Yes, you were turning your camera, and you were sideways when you first came on. Then you turned it right, and it was fine. But Kenneth, people are going to be curious about how you laid your life out, because you did lay your life out, and there's so many interesting things that have happened, in this book and since I've seen you last. But
let me give a tease. Let me just give a tease. The subtitle of the book is "One Foot in the World, One Foot in the Church." And on a serious note, that's where a lot of the content came from, and in my struggle to be one or the other, and ended up being mainly a hypocrite at times. And that was the one thing I didn't want to be. And so the book follows my struggles, not only in life with my with my church and the world, because I was in the radio career for a number of decades, but also at home with my wife and family. So it was a real struggle, and it is a good book. I poured my heart out, and I think the Holy Spirit was with me through this book.
I think so too, and certainly with you now for sure. And I want people to get to know you, and we'll talk more. This was just too much fun. It was just like reminiscing, but it was so much fun. I really appreciate you coming on, and we'll do this again. We'll work this out and have you back so we can see your face, and that will be so much fun. Listen, okay, we will let you go, and then I'll have to throw this out, and I hate to hear you go, but I'll call you later, okay?
Okay, Cindy. Take care.
All right,
Thank
you too. Thank you so much. And that's culturejock.net, right? culturejock.net. And that's where you can, find out more about the book and to order the book. It's #1 on Amazon right now, so you can get it through there as well. So Kenneth Noble Cortez, thank you so much for being on the show. Now, next week, we have so many exciting things going on, but I just can't let you know about them yet. You know why? Why do you think that is, Richard? You know why. Because I haven't gotten the guests yet, so I'll get the guests and we'll have them here, and it'll be fine. But I've got some good people that I believe will come on next week, I hope. Anyway, so you're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and if you want to donate to this show, or you want to be a sponsor of this show, you can do that at any time you want to. You can just let us know that you're ready to sponsor the show. And it'll be, so much to what kudos you'll get for being able to sponsor this show. And as long as we don't have to Zoom anybody. Okay, listen, be back with us next week. Be careful this weekend, but have fun. And remember, listen, you first responders, we love you. We love you so much. And God loves you even more. Bye-bye.